Who do I make this? Who do I make this video to? There's so much. There's so much there in that situation. That story that is. Should I start with the place? Or should I start with the place where it happened? Or should I start with the other place that's a part of the story? Or this place? Or should I start with that or that? Hmm? Or the this? Or should I go into who was afraid of who? Or or because I'm still trying to figure this part out. Who was playing side strings? Right? Pulling the side strings of an already crazy situation. You were all so very afraid. Wow. So many people did so many things. The person I'm speaking of, even their own people seemed, at this point, guilty, even if by laws of their own they don't look at that as guilty. The guiltiness of the situation because of how lovely the person was when they weren't experiencing one of their more interesting times. When I say that, I mean that in the nicest way possible. Now, a whole bunch of stuff goes down that I'm not gonna even, because it's like I want to see the proof of what everyone knows, and then I'll make a judgment if that's even the truth. Okay. And yet my head is not in the mood for this right now. So at the same time, they're the things that I know about because I was there. I know that this goes back 200 years ago or so, to about 200 years ago or so, right? Because now we're talking, and could there have been a time prior to that? Could it have went back further? Maybe. Now I would say about, because I could just look up, well, when no, it's like, yeah, there's a few things I could probably reference at that point. When certain style gypsy huts were made, when eyewear to read better was made, I could go into those references and just figure out that quick. I have an approximate time in my head. But I'm saying to myself, like, so So that's and then there's the whole Eskimo situation. It's just like it never ends. It never ends because then that's what I'm saying. It's like this one that follows that one, controlled by that one, the one who. Oh Lord. Now there was a whole lot of people my age. Only a few brought me to that spot. One of which might have not even been the person that they came off to be, which would have been Loki. Did he bring me to the spot, or was that the one that looked like, or could have been Alfredo? But then there's also, huh. Now this was what, one, two different times to be brought to a place. Whoa. Because obviously I'm what I am aware of right this second, and I'm saying to myself that is a lot of heavy magic. And when I say heavy magic, I mean that is some real serious. I do not want to get into so much of it again, and it's just like I'm saying to myself, like, so many people involved, so many people afraid of her. And then, oh, and let's not forget about the other situation. That's a main point of this whole thing is that that part was set up. Obviously, they put her in the spot where She wanted to come to my place. And she was told to stay. And then her own people killed her. Only to find out that she was one of their people. The spirits were mixed. Two different spirits in one body. So the one spirit seen the way that I treated the other spirit, and I would treat the other spirit. And wanted that for themselves. Very, very very, very I want to say emotional. Like one who goes with their particular emotion at that possible second. Wanted that for themselves. There's so much to this. It's like, and then it's like, well, would he remember? It's like, and then you knew that I would remember, and then it's like, will he explain it the right way? And it's like, I'm trying to, okay, because this is really, really, it's like, then there's the visions and the dreams, and that's where, in the physical sense, what just happened there? Okay. In the physical sense, when I was brought to that spot once, maybe twice, right? People wanted me to solve something. And at the same time, I was full blown high. I cannot even. I was totally. This was some powerful ass weed. All right, man. It's like for real. Okay, and yeah, no, that was some definitely. That was on some real. I don't care if I took one or two hits of the smallest fucking roach on the fucking planet. It was fucking some powerful ass weed. But then that does not, okay, I did something embarrassing that I'm not going to go into because I've already embarrassed myself a billion and thousand trillion fucking times at this point, okay? And at the same time, it's like I'm sitting there with what was seemingly Loki. Now, the only other time I can remember that Loki was not Loki was in that freaking situation with that freaking place. So the point being is that because that's why I want to say the names of, because I don't know any other freaking name, and that it doesn't matter because that is also where the other story integrates. Now, see, that's where a person who was pushed away from the group, that story is where he basically seemingly makes up for but gets his revenge or something around that line. And it's like, really, man, like it's like that's how much the power, and it's like that's how much people chase the power that it's like, it's like, you know, because then that situation all converges right here. This is like the convergence, man. It's like, give me a, oh my god, this is so freaking. In the other situation, that goes down because the person is so upset. As far as I understood this, as far as I understand this, the person was so upset. Wait a minute. Did I see? Where did I just get sidetracked with my words? See, that's why I'm saying it's like so those people converge on. See, that's what I'm saying. This even involves that. It even involves the freaking the White House and the things that it's like this is crazy. This whole thing. The name of the man who was seemingly there to help is the same man who seemingly helped in the other situation that seemingly went. And then it's like, oh, and then that just so I want to believe that they are. I know how that's what I'm saying. Ah, man, this is so crazy. And it's like, what is the there's no doubt that everybody should be able to. That's not how they feel. So then they think it's an insult to sit there and be like, yo, man, get a friend, or like. And then it's like, yeah, I do see this world. I see this world. So then it's like, well, try. And then it's like, then that was manipulated too, that situation. And it's like every single thing. And it's like, wow, just wow. People think this way because of they don't know what to believe in. And yet I've already explained what to believe in. That this place is not it's not it's not the end. So many different times this person has been. See, if I was to say my wife, then that would be summing up one spirit. There is so many times split. That's why I'm saying it's like this whole thing. If I say what I seen in my visions again, I've already said it, and I'll say it again. Her own people close to her in the situation down in Voodoo Town, okay? That's the best way I can put that, okay? I don't know any other way to put that, okay? Her own people had something to do with that. The fever. Now, there was, in other situations, there was the one situation where they all teamed up on her because she was so tiny and yet so powerful. It took a lot of heavy duty, big, well, I mean, big. You don't have to be big. But these guys were pretty big. Some of them. And then there's the other situation where, no offense, but then yet again, her know everything people did the same thing to her again. So that proves somewhat of the first situation being true. Whether I seen that through visions or because I definitely obviously was not there, seeing through dreams, seeing, and I remember playing with her in the dreams. Like I remember me and her playing, and then I remember the thunderstorms, and I remember, you know, that's why it's funny. It's like to me, and I say funny because it's like really. So it's like hmm, it's not. I say funny because of the situation at hand. a person being so close, and that's why I'm saying that. 25. It gets me wondering, right? With the person coming back so many different times, right? How is it? And this is a question that is definitely in my head. This is totally in my head right now. So because maybe I could figure this out in time or not time or whatever. The from the person, if the person was already passed, then why would it be a said? Why would it still be, if the person has come back? But then you get into like, well, then that happened, and then that happened over there, and it's like, does it ever end? It doesn't end. It doesn't fucking end. It's just a fucking constant fucking. And it's like somebody has to have something to fucking complain about, right? So it's like, it's a fucking. I'm sorry. I seen the way you beings. See, I'm just saying to myself too. It's like, so it comes into what? It goes back into what? Oops. Yeah, excuse me. It See, this also goes back into what, like, do you see? Then it goes back into, is that the same person? I'm trying to remember the I know who the woman was. Now I understand that was just completely. Oh man, so much of it I thought was just being staged. I honestly do. That's why it's like, there was a lot of people there that were trying to tell me to figure this out. But there was also what seemed like alternative motives there too. if I described it, I described it the way that I seen it in the dreams, but I see now it's like more so than ever. It's like I see, and even then I knew things, but I did, it's like to sit there and go, well, don't talk about this. And then somebody comes up to me wanting to talk about it. It's like I don't even fucking. It's crazy, man. This shit is crazy, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like because the same situation was back 200 or so plus years prior with the man who was being set up by the girl. Is that who the devil freaking was talking about his wife? Nah, man. You went so overboard on that. It's like, nah. Cause she seen the one, and it wasn't even the one. It was a different one. Those were like I want to say they were twins, but who the freaking point was the one that treated her nice was not the one to do that to her. Miss Lovey LeVay. That was a plot by the devil. To make her hate the guy who treated her nice. And that then brings us to what part? That would be the story of the fever. No. Yes? Which then